What's up, YouTube? So, in this video, I'm going to be going over the game day report for the Dolphins Bears game. Starting off with some of the injuries, Teron Armstead, I assume he'll probably play. He had limited participation Thursday and Friday. I mean, the fact that he's been practicing at all probably sounds like he's probably going to play. I didn't know he had an Achilles injury too, though. Thought it was just a toe. That is a little scary, especially being as big as he is. So hopefully he plays. River Craycraft is out again. That's whatever. Melvin Ingram, Xavier Howard are fine. Austin Jackson is doubtful. I didn't even know it was possible for him to play. That's promising. Jerome Baker's fine. Awesome. Bradley Chubb and Jeff Wilson, obviously, they're only on here because they didn't really get to practice because they just got traded here. I think that they'll both probably end up playing. Well, I know they will because Coach McDaniel said they would. He said that their snaps would be somewhere between 0 and all of them, but definitely more than 0. So, yeah. And I'll go into that when I look at the depth chart a little bit more. Tanner Connor may as well just not go. We got enough tight ends. He can rest his knee. That's fine. All these guys are good to go. Eric Rowe had full participation Friday. I hope he can go, but he said he wasn't injured when he got pulled last week. He said he was good enough to play, but the Dolphins didn't do it anyway, which is interesting. I didn't realize Jalen Phillips had an injury. Looks like he must have gotten hurt in practice. Let's take a look at the depth chart first. I do think that Jeff Wilson will probably end up getting a decent amount of snaps. Luckily, he does know the system. He doesn't know all the language yet, but he does understand the gaps and stuff like that. And running back is mostly instinct. And I think a lot of the other veterans here, and especially Raheem Mostert, I think can kind of help him get acclimated and help him know exactly where he's supposed to be lined up and things of that nature. I think Tua can kind of help him with that. So I do think he'll be fine. And the good thing is with Jeff Wilson and Bradley Chubb, it's not like they were free agents that we picked up off the street that haven't been playing football in a while. These guys were just playing. Jeff Wilson was the starter for the Niners before McCaffrey got there, and but he was still getting some snaps. And then Bradley Chubb has 5.5 sacks this year, so it's not like they're not in football shape. They've been playing all season. They just don't know the system yet. Man, that'll be kind of rough if Teron Armstead can't go, because Austin Jackson probably not going to. I assume Brandon Shell will just stay at right tackle. And I guess it would be Greg Little at left tackle if Austin can't go. We already have Liam Eichenberg on IR, so that'll be kind of rough. I do think we should probably move some people up. Let me go to roster. What do we have on the practice squad at this point? James Empey, who I'm not a big fan of. Lamont Galliard. You know, interestingly enough, the Bears have Kellen Dyche on their practice squad. I would love to go snatch this guy and just let him be active for us today. If we can do that. Durant Hermans? I'm not familiar. But I feel like we should move somebody up with all these injuries. Like if Armstead and Austin Jackson can't go, especially, because right now we do not have a backup guard. If Robert Hunt or Robert Jones gets hurt, we do not have a backup guard. I guess we did bring up Keon Smith, but I feel like we should probably bring up another guy. I don't know. Or even at least bring up James Empey, who's a backup center. That way Michael Dieter can kind of be your swing backup guard. That could be a thing you could do. River Craycraft, whatever. I don't see another receiver active, so hopefully it'll be Hill, Waddle, Sherfield, Cedric, and then Eric. Hopefully Eric Izukama can actually get some snaps today. That'd be nice. Because we don't have a fifth receiver. But we'll see. We'll get more information right before game time. And I'll talk about that during the stream and stuff like that. I do plan on streaming today. D-line's good. I kind of assume that Jalen Phillips will probably play, even if it's on a pitch count with the injury. Bradley Chubb. And I know he's not like Jeff Wilson. He doesn't exactly know the system. But, I mean, the Broncos did use him in a multiple style-ish scheme where, you know, he has played multiple positions before. So that does help him. And I think another thing that helps him is the fact that the majority of our defense are guys that have been here before. They've been on this team for a little while. And I think they can kind of help him along and you know, kind of tell him where he's supposed to be lining up. People like Jerome Baker, Landon Roberts, Andrew Van Ginkel. I think people like that can kind of help him get lined up. Duke Riley as well. Christian, Agba, Raekwon. I think a lot of these guys can just kind of help him get lined up where he's at and let him know what he's supposed to be doing. Because I know he's not going to know the language quite yet. But I do think he can play a decent amount of snaps. I don't know if he'll play as many as Jeff Wilson just because running back I think is a little bit of a smoother transition, and he has played in this system before, even if he doesn't know the language. So there is that. Who else is on the Bears practice squad, by the way? Chase Allen, that's interesting. Nathan Peterman, that's hilarious. Zachary Thomas. I would love to have Kellen Dyche and Zachary Thomas, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's take a look at their depth chart. So when I was giving my opinion on the Bears, I'll kind of run through it again. I don't know how much Chase Claypool is going to play today. Similar to, you know, Jeff Wilson and Bradley Chubb. He just got here, so he doesn't really know the playbook a whole lot. I do assume he will play. It's just a matter of how much. But the real threat with this team is the run game. David Montgomery, Khalil Herbert, and Justin Fields himself are really dangerous run threats. Darnell Mooney is a good gadget guy, little tiny dude. Chase Claypool and N'Keal Harry are solid, big boys. Same with Kwame St. Brown. Dante Pettis is decent. Velus Jones is decent. They have a nice little offense here, especially for the run. Cole Kmet is a decent blocking tight end and can give you some value in the receiving game. Offensive line is pretty decent. This defense is very beatable. If Jalen Johnson isn't going, I think that's pretty interesting for them. Their defensive backcourt is already not great. Eddie Jackson's good. Jaquan Brisser's good. I like their safeties. But I think the corners are very beatable. But the real weakness is their linebackers without Roquan Smith. And, of course, they don't have Robert Quinn either. So their pass rush isn't going to be as good anymore either. But without Roquan, these linebackers are guys that are known for getting out of their gaps, especially with misdirection, which is a bad matchup for us because we do a lot of misdirection, so I do think we can definitely hurt this. But the main focus to beating the Bears is we're going to have to do everything we can to try to stop this run. They are going to find running success. Dallas has one of the better defenses in the league, and they still ran it all over them. So they are going to have some success, but we're gonna have to be physical. We're going to have to tackle. And Justin Fields is going to run all over us, probably. We haven't done great against scrambling quarterbacks, but we're going to have to do better about that today. So it'll be interesting. It really will. Justin Fields is fast as shit, strong as shit, can make you miss. He's dangerous. So, anyway, I think that's pretty much gonna do it for this video. If you liked it, appreciate hitting that like button. Have any questions or comments in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.